Okay, now that the smoke has cleared and the rain has gone, let's chat it up about the Canadian Grand Prix. So starting things off with qualifying. This is going to be for anybody who didn't watch qualifying in the race. We're going to do just a very quick rundown. The qualifying round on Saturday was a mess. It was rainy and people were having a very tough time. So in Q1, we saw the following drivers get knocked out. We saw Zhou Guanyu, who had a tough time even starting the race. His car was malfunctioning from like the second that he left the pits. He did not make it out of Q1. Sarge didn't make it out of Q1. Nick DeVries, the wall dog, did not make it out of Q1. Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda all out in Q1. Gasly was none too happy because he had Carlos Sainz right in his way on his hot lap, as they say.
Yeah, you can see, oh, look at this.
Should be banned for such a thing. I'm coming at 300, like what the is the thing?
So he was mad about that. Anyway, fast forward to Q2, we got rid of drivers like Valtteri Bottas, not that surprising. Kevin Magnussen, Stroll did not make it to Q3, the hometown hero. And then Perez didn't make it to Q3, and neither did the most amazing driver in the world, Leclerc. He somehow didn't make it to Q3. In Q2, actually, Albon qualified the fastest there. So big weekend for our man, Alex Albon. And then moving into Q3, we had Max qualifying first. Hülkenberg qualified second, which we'll see actually got he got that taken away because he finished his lap after a red flag was thrown out there. It was a yellow flag. I don't know. Anyways, things were wet, and that was qualifying for you. I mean, Albon kind of probably did the best job of anybody else, I would say. And so here is how we started the race. As you can see, a little bit of a shakeup with Hülkenberg. He bumped down to fifth, so we had Fernando on the front of the grid on the front row with Max. And then the race happened, and some exciting things we had during the race. Our man Sarge, he only made it 6 laps. That was a bummer. George Russell, he actually took it into a wall around in the first 20 laps. George Russell hit a wall and knocked one of his tires almost clean off. Was able to limp back to the pits and continue racing. And actually during the race, he made it all the way back up to 5th place before they actually had to retire the car on lap 53. So you were kind of rooting for him to get back up in there, but I mean, I guess ultimately it was his fault that he was in the position that he was in. So, I guess you get what you get. Lando was doing well this race. He would have finished in the top 10 if he hadn't have gotten a penalty during the race, a 5-second penalty. Albon did a great job during the race again. He finished 7th, which is impressive, and everyone was touting his ability to defend, so he did a great job. De Vries and Magnussen were just fumbling over top of each other the whole entire race. They didn't really do anything at all. Really, the race was just all Max all the way, and then we had a little bit of a battle between Lewis and Fernando. Verstappen hit a bird.
We had a funeral for a bird.
And murked it. That was in the first 10 laps, and people were freaking out for a second, but he did not care. They actually found the bird. It was very much dead at the end of the race.
You are the sunshine that lights my heart within.
So that was some exciting stuff. I'm trying to think what else was exciting. That's just kind of a quick recap, and thanks for listening to me mumble through the whole entire race for you. Wrapped it up in just a couple minutes. Ways to beat Max Verstappen. Let's take a look back and see what our options were. All right, so first way we were going to try to beat him was to beat him in qualifying. Did we do it Let's look. No, we did not do it. Qualifying, Stoppy takes it home. By almost 2 seconds, he beats Nico Hulkenberg. Nico Hulkenberg was our best chance at beating Max in qualifying. He didn't even sniff getting close to first place. So we let Max walk on the lead. He's starting in first place. That's okay. We had another strategy to beat him, and that was the Wall of Champions, which has taken out other champions in the past. Dude didn't even get close to hitting it. So that did not work. And last but not least, hubris. We thought maybe he would beat himself. And we had a chance over one of the Carbs. He said he almost knocked himself out of the race, but he didn't. We even tried to throw a bird into his car. That didn't work either. Our man Max is looking like he's going to be tough to beat this season, but we're going to keep trying to cook up some ways to beat Max. Maybe here in Austria we could get it done, even though he's won here a couple times. Maybe there is a way that we could beat the all-powerful Max Verstappen. Let's talk about our podium for this week. Man, I almost had it. So the winning podium, if you were to play the podium game, was Max Verstappen in first place, Alonso in second place, and Lewis Hamilton in third place. What I said was Verstappen first, Lewis in second, Alonso in third, and it was looking like it was going to be that way for a little bit during the race. But then at some point, maybe in the 20s, Alonso overtook Lewis, and that was that. My hopes are dashed. I have still not gotten one right. I'm going to keep trying. So I've missed 8 now in a row, 8 podiums I have gotten incorrect, but we will get one right before the season runs out. I promise you that. I'm just going to put Max up top, and then I just got to get the next 2 in the right order, and it's coming. So we'll see what I put together for Austria. Our hometown hero this week has been maybe doing a little too much traveling, has not spent enough time in his hometown because he did not do super. In qualifying, he qualified 13th, off order if we wanted for him to win the race. So Lance really eked it out to finish in 10th over Valtteri Bottas by 0.03 seconds. So that came down to the wire, but pretty subpar finish for our man Lance. That's it for the Canadian Grand Prix Hometown Hero Edition. Another Grand Prix without the Hometown Hero winning. We're just going to have to wait till we go to the Netherlands and do the Dutch Grand Prix, because that is going to be our real shot at a Hometown Hero. And maybe we'll get lucky along the way. Who knows? But Canada, no Hometown Hero.
We're going to win a race this year, and we're going to do this. Ice cream's my way back home, I guess you can say.
All right, let's talk about our dude, Sarge. With a heavy heart, we say that Sarge did not finish the race this week. We're going to need for him to get up into the points soon. Let's take a look at his Instagram post after the race. Now, if we read between the lines here, what is Sarge trying to get into his head a little bit? You know, I think he's saying something with these Instagram posts after he's finishing the races in last place and not finishing. He's excited for the team, but you can tell that he is ready to win a race, and I think it's coming this year at some point. Sarge, keep fighting, keep hanging in there. The pointless battle rages on, baby. This is really getting exciting. Logan Sargent versus Nick the Wall Dog DeVries. The battle is rocking. We had Sarge do his part right away. Lap 6, he was like, deuces, I'm outie. Nick, you know what to do now. Nick, he messed around at the back of the field. Him and Kevin Magnuson were just tripping over each other pretty much the entire race, back in like a 15th and 16th place. Nick the Wall Dog ends up in 18th place. He finished the race at least, but he was last place of all those who finished the race. So, I mean, this looks like literally it's going to be an all-season kind of thing. It might come down to the wire. Either of these guys can pull out a point. It's giving us good content, though. It's something to watch during each race week because you never know when there could be a big wreck or something crazy could happen, and one of these pointless dudes ends up 10th place or higher. So we will keep our fingers crossed for some excitement, but we don't want them to get points because then we have less to talk about each week. So keep it up, you two. Hello, everybody. Lenny Bones here, your reporter on all things Send It 3, the best fantasy league going in Formula One right now. Let's kick things off by looking at this week's Bones Challenge, which is the thing that truly makes our league unique and sets us apart from these other would-be lame-ass fantasy leagues. So the Bones Challenge this week, we had 4 questions. First one was, would our hometown hero Lance Stroll, would he finish in the top 10? And I'll tell you what, he did, but it was by the skin of his teeth. The dude just sneaks in to the top 10. So that was exciting for everybody watching. Some of us said that he would not make it, though. I was one of them. Second question this week was, which team will pit first? And this week it was AlphaTauri. Yuki Tsunoda pitted on like lap number 2, I think, very quickly. So that was the correct answer there. Third question was our classic, how will our boy Sarge finish? Dude did not finish. Which we talked about a little bit earlier on in the show today, but Sarge couldn't get it done this week. I don't know enough to say if it's his fault or if it's the car's fault. I mean, ultimately the car stopped working. I don't know if he did something wrong or not. I'm going to say he didn't, and he just did everything he could do to finish the race and had a tough time. Last question was Justin Bieber going to be there? Bieber was not there. He didn't care. He was probably worried about the lingering smoke and how that would affect his pipes. He probably has a show or something coming up or a new album he's putting out. So the Biebs was not there. But let's take a look at how everyone who played did. We had 15 people in it this time, so the numbers are growing again. 3 contenders here finishing with the best score of 3 total points. Stroll Toll Racing with 3, Race Highlights with 3, Better Call Gene with 3. Most other teams had 2 points. Eldia, Chow Baby 3, Gastown had only 1 point, and yours truly managed to finish with 0 points. So I'm not very good at these Bones challenges, but let's take a look at the overall standings. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new leader in the Clubhouse Race Highlights up on top of the leaderboard with 18 Bones Challenge points. Way to freaking go. No Mikey No, who has the crystal ball, always knowing what the future holds in the Bone Challenge, did not do as well this week. He's sitting at 17, tied with the all-powerful, I'll change this later. So those 2 teams are sitting in second place. Then we have Where's Danny Ricks with 16 points in third place. For Crappin, Stroll Toll Racing, and Better Call Gene, all with 15. And Highway to Hell with 14. So, I mean, I can just keep going down the list, but really, it looks like the battle for the top spot is between those Race Highlights, No Mikey No, I'll change this later, Where's Danny Ricks for Crappin, Stroll Toll Racing, Gotta Call Gene, Highway to Hell, and Chow Baby 3, I would say, still has a shot at it right now. Everyone else needs to pick it up a little bit if they're going to get in the action. Turtle in the Hair, I like that you're playing. You are still dangerous. Could be a sleeper team for the second half of the season. We shall see. Now, let's just talk about the Canadian Grand Prix fantasy-wise and how things went. Here's a quick look at our podium. We had another classic tie for first place. We'll get into that in a second. In third place, the Chad Stones. He must have gotten in there, changed up his lineup at the last second. We know Chad is staying on top of it. He was our reporter that we had in Australia at the Australian Grand Prix, if you all remember. Flash a quick pic of him right here. Highway to Hell, second place this week, is doing good work with his team. I like the improvement. You're doing nice. Now, tied for first place, we had No Mikey No and yours truly, Bones Racing LLC. So No Mikey No gets his first point in the Grand Prix overall challenge in the Send It 3 League. Let's take a look at those standings. So we got Bones Racing and No Mikey No winning this week. We had Bones Racing winning in Spain. We had Drive Fast Turn Left and Washington F1 team winning in Monaco. Shout out. Magic Man number 1 was our Miami Magic Man. Bones Racing, another win in Azerbaijan. Maxi V did great in Australia and has kind of fallen off the map since then. Reese Bobby, what a Saudi Arabian Grand Prix he had. Hopefully he can return to true form. And our Bones Challenge leader, Race Highlights, got it done in the first race of the season in Bahrain. So right now we have one team with 3 wins. That's Bones Racing, yours truly. And then we have 7 teams with 1 win. So Bones Racing is edging clear a little bit right here. Let's see if someone else can come in hot and pick up some steam. Big race coming up next week in Austria. So that leads us to our overall standings here. So what it's looking like, remember, the top 3 teams, the podium is going to take some cash money at the end of the season. So let's take a look at our top 5. So in 5th place right now, we have Stroll Toll Racing, who has fallen from 2nd place. He's a 2-time former champion of the league, so keep an eye on him. Chuzzy Supreme sits tight in 4th place right now, still in the running. No Mikey No bounces up from, I believe, 5th to 3rd place after a win in Canada. And then Better Call Gene bumping up to 2nd place. And in 1st place, Bones Racing LLC. You're going to get sick of hearing the name, but do something about it. That's what I'm saying. Shout out to Better Call Gene and No Mikey No for making a nice jump up into the points. But as you can see, all 4 of these teams that are not in 1st are separated just by a few points. So it's going to come down to who's staying on top of things and who really wants it bad. That's it for fantasy. Talk to you guys when we recap the next race, but also talk to you when we preview the next race.